Two women, one nation. Decades of political war. Power battle turned personal. And Bangladesh paid the price. For over 4 decades, Bangladesh's political landscape was fundamentally shaped by the intense personal and political rivalry between Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia, two titans of South Asian politics. And with death of Khaleda Zia, Bangladesh has not only lost one of its most consequential political figure, but it also closes a bitter chapter of rivalry between these two political heavyweights that fundamentally shape the nation's democratic trajectory. Today in this edition of From the News Desk, we will tell you about how this battle between the two Begums of Bangladesh was not just an electoral one, but it paralyzed governance, eroded democratic institutions and fueled cycles of political violence that redefined Bangladesh. Let's begin with the origins of this rivalry. And this rivalry originates from tragedy. Hasina inherited the Awami League from her father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Bangladesh's founding father, who was assassinated on August 15, 1975, just 3 years after the independence. On the other hand, Khaleda Zia rose to lead the Bangladesh Nationalist Party following her husband Zia-ur-Rahman's assassination in 1981. These parallel traumas became the foundation of a deeply personal enmity, with each woman convinced that the other's political party bore responsibility for her family's assassination. Hasina long accused Zia of connections to her father's killer, while Khaleda maintained that Awami League members orchestrated her husband's death. Now, beyond these accusations, the ideological divide was also stark. Hasina's Awami League championed secular nationalism and Bengali cultural identity rooted in the liberation struggle, while Khaleda Zia's BNP advanced a civic nationalism infused with Islamic identity, drawing support from conservative constituencies and regional political allies. These competing visions for Bangladesh's national identity ensured that every election became a zero-sum contest over nation's soul, not merely a competition over power. Now, the turning point that momentarily united them came during General Hussein Ershad's military dictatorship between 1982 and 1990. Facing sustained repression, mass arrest, censorship and emergency decree, Hasina and Khaleda discovered that the only united action could topple the dictator. And on October 28, 1987, the two rivals met face to face, an extraordinary gesture given their mutual disdain to coordinated resistance. They united pushed for Ershad's resignation in December 1990 and restored parliamentary democracy. Within months of the 1991 free elections, the fragile unity shattered. Khaleda's BNP triumphed and she became Bangladesh's first female prime minister. From that point onwards, the two parties alternated power, but governance suffered catastrophically instead of consensus building or policy debate. Politics became an exercise in institutional elimination. When in power, each leader weaponized state machinery against the other through fabricated corruption cases, mass arrest, administrative pressure and legislative maneuvers designed to weaken and target the opponent. Well, the consequences were dire. Democratic institutions deteriorated as the judiciary, police and bureaucracy became instruments of political vendetta and warfare. Electoral credibility collapsed as both parties, when ruling, systemized repression and manipulated electoral processes. The 2014 and 2018 elections under Hasina's rule became textbook examples of democratic decay. The 2018 elections was denounced as a mockery of democracy by observers who documented ballot stuffing, intimidation and suppression of opposition campaigns. Now, beyond electoral rigging, the rivalry gave birth to endless violent cycle. The April 2004 grenade attack on the Awami League political rally that killed over 20 people and wounded more than 500 exemplified the lethal stakes of Bengali politics. Khaleda's government and its Islamic allies faced widespread blame. Her son was later convicted in absentia for the bombing. Now, these patterns of violence became normalized, with citizens and development repeatedly sacrificed to elite rivalry. Under Hasina's lending tenure from 2009 onwards, democratic backsliding accelerated dramatically. She abolished the caretaker government system in 2011, enabling the ruling party to oversee its own election. The state increasingly persecuted opposition members through politically motivated persecutions. The Awami League employed what analysts termed as goon culture. Thugs and party cadres use extrajudicial violence with police to suppress dissent and intimidate BNP activists. Arbitrary detentions, disappearances, and extrajudicial killings became hallmark of governance in that period. Well, for 4 decades, the Battle of Begums reduced Bangladesh to a recurring cycle of confrontational politics where democratic progress became subordinate to personal and party rivalry. Winner takes all, politics meant losers often faced jail, exile, or even worse. While Khaleda Zia's death marks the symbolic end of this era, but Bangladesh's democratic institution still remains scared and scattered by their legacy, a cautionary testament to how elite conflict can hollow out democracy from within.